Hello and welcome to episode number 2 of Health and Humanity with DANVOSS, a new podcast show centered around improving health and improving our human connection and relationships. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you, if you're enjoying this episode, please share it with a friend. You can share the YouTube link, or you can go into the platform that you listen to your podcast, copy that link and send it via text to someone that you think might enjoy this podcast. Okay, so later this week, I'm going to be very busy with several guests, interviewing new guests for upcoming episodes that I'm extremely excited to record and to share those new episodes with you. We have some very brilliant minds in the industry of health and self-development, and I'm just really excited to have those new episodes recorded and to share that out with you. But for today, it's just myself. So I've decided to give a little recap of a recent Lewis Howes podcast episode. Lewis Howes is an author, speaker, influencer, and he's the host of the School of Greatness podcast. And Lewis recently interviewed Wim Hof on his podcast, discussing the Wim Hof method, which consists of a few things. Number 1 is cold showers, and number 2 is deep breathing exercises. Wim Hof, also known as the Iceman, is an extreme athlete from the Netherlands, most noted for his ability to withstand freezing temperatures. He has set Guinness World Records for swimming under ice and prolonged full body contact with ice, and still holds the record for a barefoot half marathon on ice and snow. This guy is pretty extreme, and by all accounts, I would say that he's a very tough dude. And in this podcast episode, the interview with Lewis Howes, he shares that it has been several years since he's gotten sick with the flu or even a common cold. He does do ice baths with cold showers, cold tubs, swims in cold rivers and lakes quite frequently, pretty much every single day. So it is something that he's built up over the years, but you can do this too, just by starting with a few minutes of a cold shower each day. So the Wim Hof method and how it works, basically Wim Hof attributes not getting sick to having an extremely strong immune system, which he says is built up through his method of cold showers or cold baths and deep breathing exercises. So with the cold showers portion of the Wim Hof method, he claims it helps with 2 things. Number 1 is the physical side of things, which really it helps reduce inflammation in the body. And it also helps boost your immune system overall. And it's also supposed to be really good for your skin. So that's the physical side of things. And the second portion, the second benefit of cold showers is the mental health side of it. Basically, he talks about how it is altering your neurology, which allows you to become more aware and it improves your overall consciousness. So why does this work? Number 1, with the cold showers, I should start off by saying I have tried this myself. I've actually been doing it for the last year or so. Basically, I take my normal shower, I take a warm shower, and then at the very end, I turn the water to extreme cold for the last minute or 2. And I would actually recommend starting off that way. Start off small, start off slow. It's really like anything else if you think about it. It's like running a marathon. You're not going to go run 26.2 miles tomorrow. You have to work your way into that. You have to start off with a mile, then you get to 5 miles, then you run a half marathon. You build your way up in the training, you get to 20 miles, maybe 22 miles. And then after several months of training, you're prepared to go run a full marathon. Or take meditation, for instance. You're not going to just go meditate tomorrow for 20 minutes straight. It'd be pretty hard to just sit still and focus on nothing for 20 minutes. You're going to lose focus. So with something like meditation, recommend the same thing. Start off with a minute. Then the next day, maybe do 3 minutes, and then build your way up to 5 minutes of meditation. Build your way up to 10 minutes. And then before you know it, you can sit there and meditate for 20 minutes at a time. Same thing with the cold water. I would start off with a cold shower is taking 1 minute cold shower, like I have. Take your normal shower and then switch that water to extreme cold for 1 minute. Build your way up. Then you can get to 5 minutes. Just start off slow. And the reason why, especially with something like cold showers, is you don't want to risk the chance of hypothermia. So just be smart about it. Listen to your body. Start off small, build your way up. And then once you get the hang of it, Wim Hof actually recommends alternating between hot and cold. And since I've listened to this podcast episode with Lewis Howes, and hearing Wim Hof recommend the alternation between hot and cold, I've actually been giving it a try the last few days and definitely see a big, significant difference. I basically spend about 2 to 3 minutes with hot water and then flip it to cold and spend 2 to 3 minutes with cold, switch it back to hot, back over to cold, just alternate between the two. And basically what this does in terms of alternating between hot and cold, it improves your overall vascular fitness. So it helps the blood flow better, and in return that helps your energy flow better. And what you're doing is you're basically training the muscles in your vascular system, which really it allows the blood to flow easier to your cells. Okay, so that's the cold showers. I recommend giving that a try. Like I said, start small with 1 or 2 minutes of cold shower at the end of your shower. And then once you get into the rhythm of it and you feel like you can upgrade, then you can alternate between hot and cold. It really has some incredible, impactful outcome for you. The second thing is deep breathing exercises. And the goal here is for it to reduce your stress. Now, Wim Hof talks about how when you're deep breathing, you're actually altering the chemistry in your brain. If you think about it, when you're taking deep breaths, and really with his method, you're actually doing 30 deep breaths. It's a quick inhale, quick outhale, but it's a very deep breathing. And what you're doing is you're allowing your lungs to be filled with oxygen at a level that's much higher than normal breathing. So that's where that alteration of the chemistry in your brain comes in. Again, same thing with the cold water. I would recommend starting off small. Maybe you just do it one cycle through of 30 deep breaths. And then with his method, you do 30 deep breaths, and then you actually hold your breath for as long as you can. But don't overdo it. You obviously don't want to faint or pass out, so just be really smart, listen to your body, start off small that first day or first week, and then work your way up into it. The other really interesting thing I think that I gained from listening to this podcast episode, and I think it's super applicable to today's world that we're living in, is the idea of when you're starting to feel ill, to feel a little bit sick. Maybe you have a cold that you're coming down with. But in terms of today's world, obviously a lot of people are concerned about getting the virus with everything going around. So, and even if you don't contract the virus, if you're just starting to feel a little bit ill, you want to focus on two things. The two things I just talked about: deep breathing, which brings down inflammation and it starts to fight off that sickness. And then right after you get into that deep breathing exercise, then you can go to your cold shower. So for the breathing exercises, you can probably go on to YouTube and type in Wim Hof method, and you can find all kinds of videos about how to practice the deep breathing exercises. But actually, Wim Hof just released a new app, which you can go ahead and download. You can just go to your app store, type in Wim Hof method, and you'll find that app. I actually just downloaded it a few days ago. I've been giving it a try. It's really actually a great app with lots of cool exercises. Most of the exercises in there are free. There is an option to upgrade to his paid program where you have all kinds of different paid programs and exercises, but really the bulk majority of what you need to get down the Wim Hof method for breathing exercises, most of it's right there for free for you to use. So really that's pretty much it that I have for today. I just thought that this was a really neat and interesting topic, especially in the world that we're living in right now with lots of sickness going around. Obviously, people are concerned with the virus going around. If you find yourself feeling a little bit ill, you can do certain things. You can do these things to fight off that illness. Focus on deep breaths. It will reduce your stress. It will reduce your inflammation. Along with the cold showers, it has so many really beneficial, impactful benefits that I've experienced myself. Not just the neurology of it, because it certainly does wake you up. I feel like when I step out of that cold shower, I'm more alert. I'm more conscious. I feel like I'm just playing at a higher level. Not to mention there's all kinds of other health benefits. Like I said, it's an immune system booster. It's beneficial for your skin. So there's just a lot of great benefits that I recommend you at least giving it a try and seeing how it works out for you. Again, be smart with it. I want you to work your way into it. Don't try to do all of this at once. Really start off small and work your way up. So if you do give it a try, please be sure to reach out to me and let me know how it went for you. I'd love to hear your feedback. Again, if you enjoyed this episode, I would really appreciate you sharing it out with your friends and your family. You can simply copy that link that's in the platform you use to listen to podcasts, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast. Just copy that link and text it to a friend that you think would enjoy this podcast. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.